Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that, y'all. Let's not forget that. So what did I miss? There's been a lot that went on last night, y'all, and into the morning and into the, as we walk into the afternoon. There's a lot that's been going on. There was rumor about certain people getting fired and all that stuff. And I saw all the stuff. I saw percolating out here in these streets, okay? I was watching from afar. Your boy was busy. Tried to get on, but it was just, by the time I had time to get on, it was already too late. It was really, really late. So I was like, you know what? We're going to talk about it tomorrow. We're going to do it live, right? But now, there's been some developments, and the rumors are not true on some of these things, at least for now. But we got to look at a bunch of different things because a lot of things happened last night that we definitely need to talk about. And still, things are happening right now as we speak. There's been new updates about a new fire that was going off. Now that has been 100. Now there's new developments surrounding particular fires right now. Some good news, some movement. So hopefully we're on the home stretch towards victory here. Okay, very, very soon. So let's get into this, guys. Before we do, though, hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, let's not forget, hit that follow button. Subscribe here on my main channel on YouTube. Go over to the other channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Please, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there. There's a lot of stuff I'm covering over there that I'm not covering over here, and vice versa. So if you want some other things, go over to the secondary channel. Subscribe. Hit that join button down below. Check out my Patreon if you want to support, okay? Hit that join button down below first. Become a member. But if you want to support even other ways, they're down in the ticker down below. You can join my Patreon, okay? There's also my locals. Also, let's not forget that I also have PascalMerch.com. Go check it out. I'm sure you'll find something you'll love over there. PascalMerch.com, okay? And yes, guys. Okay. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. There's a lot of things that have been going on over the past 12 hours, okay? A lot of things have transpired. There's been a lot of information, a lot of rumors, a lot of celebrities speaking out as well. There's a lot of people that are very upset, understandably. There's a lot of people that have lost their homes. There has been multiple tens of thousands of acres that have been just taken over, tens of thousands of structures that have been burnt down. There's been hundreds of thousands of people that have been evacuated from their homes. And there was another new evacuation that happened earlier very early this morning. Of course, there's been a lot of movement and a lot of things going on. Okay. And of course, you know, my thoughts and prayers, I can't even imagine. It's what people are going through right now is unfathomable. Unfathomable. Real talk. I am just as shocked as anyone else right now. With that, it has been going on for this long. We are Saturday. It is Saturday afternoon right now, or at least about to be Saturday afternoon. Okay. Some of y'all, it is the afternoon, but you get what I'm saying. It is Saturday afternoon, and we are still seeing fires. We still have at least 5 fires going on right now. It's not millions, but hundreds of thousands of people without homes right now or have been evacuated from their home. It's unbelievable what people are going through right now. Now, there's a few things that we need to talk about with last night, because a few things were popping off last night. I mean, things have been going crazy. People have been speaking out. Certain elected and hired officials have been speaking out and saying their honest to God opinions about certain things and about certain other elected officials. There's been rumors about those particular people losing their jobs. We got to talk about that as well. We are going to circle into that and talk about that. And of course, there's been a lot of celebrities speaking out about certain things. Some people that are right-leaning, some people that are left-leaning. It's very interesting because they're all basically saying the same doggone thing. They're very upset with their elected officials and how the elected officials are handling this situation. And it's on both sides of the political aisle. That's what's even more surprising to me. It's almost a universal reaction, and it's all the same reaction for the most part. Yes, there's going to be people on the left and there's going to be people on the right that are all going to say, oh, wait. You know, this was an unprecedented situation. How would they know? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody out there saying something like that, right? Understandably. But then, of course, you're going to see, which is also surprising, both sides, people on both sides of the aisle speaking out, saying how frustrated they are about this whole thing. And I think this is what's so wild about it. It's not like it's only the left being like, hey, guys, whoa. You know, like let the officials do what they need to do. No, you know, now we're seeing people on the left even saying, what the hell is going on? Why haven't they done a damn thing? They need to do something. They really need to do some investigating into everything. Why there isn't enough water, or why is the water pressure down? When stuff like this is most important, right? You got the climate change believers and the non-believers both sitting on the same side of the aisle going, what the F is going on? It's pretty interesting. Even some of our pundits out here are even speaking out and saying, what the F? This is bad. And I agree. This is really bad. Just look at it, right? Just take a step back and take a good look at what's been going on. It's been insane. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you are on. It's all about the human condition. It's all about human safety. It's all about protecting our loved ones and keeping all of us safe from harm. They are all harmed. Okay. Over there. Like I said before, the fire don't care about what affiliation you're with, who you identify as, or if you are religious or not. It doesn't care how much money you got in your bank account. It doesn't matter. It don't care if you're a celebrity or someone who, you know, is a janitor at a local high school. It doesn't matter. It's taking over everything. It's taking over everything. Now, real quick before we get into everything, and like I said, it is shocking because I'm seeing more and more people standing on the side of like, what the F? Just out of pure shock and anger, which is totally understandable. All right. I think at this point, everyone's sitting there going like, what the hell? What can we do? Because now it's like, do I have to roll up my sleeves and go out there and fight these fires myself? Are we really that in need of manpower? It is pretty insane, guys. It is pretty insane. But let me show this with you guys. These are some updates, okay? So there was new evacuation orders. One thing is for sure, though, before we get into that, they did say, before we get into all of this, let me just share this if I can find it. One fire is for sure contained. The 100% contained the Sunset Fire, which, of course, no matter what, that's great bloody news. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Shush. Here's the thing, though. Can I just say this really quick? What about the Palisades fire, though? What about that Palisades fire, though? Let's not forget that. Sure, it's great news, 100% contained. Yes. Yes. Kick it in the butt, okay? Kick it in the booty. Let's go. But what about them Palisades fire that's larger than Manhattan right now? It just keeps growing in size. Yes, S-dubs. Palisades grew last night even more. It's just taken over everything in its path. That's why we had other evacuations that happened this morning because of the Palisades fire, that specific fire, because it keeps spreading. What about that one, though? That one's the size, bigger than Manhattan itself. Do you realize how big that's a lot? That's very big. That's very big. That's a lot of fire everywhere. Okay? Everywhere. I'm glad that they were able to contain one of these fires. That's fantastic. But what about the main character, right? What about the lead of this show? What about that one? The main Terry. Okay? What about that one? I'm hoping that they're going to do something with it, but from my understanding, they said 8% was contained. But I don't know, 8% out of a very big fire, to me, ain't nothing. Even so, Palisades is only 15%. Yeah, Tony Temper. Yeah, 15% contained. That ain't nothing, y'all. Think about 15% on a massive fire that's bigger than the size of Manhattan. Just think about that for a second. Just think about that. And yes, I know that there's a presser going on right now, but we're gonna get to it. But see, I'm sorry. These pressers to me don't give out much information except for the moments that really matter, which is telling us what's going on as far as these fires. Not this other stuff like we must band together, we must work together to be a stronger Los Angeles. We've all heard that. Every single person that is keeping a watch on this historical travesty has already heard that a million times. I want to hear solutions. Don't give me more problems. I need you to give me solutions. Real talk. We're going to look at the press conference and we're going to scrub through it. I'm telling you, we're going to scrub through it. Why? Because it's a lot of the same BS. It's the same rhetoric over and over and over again. And I'm telling you right now, give us solutions. Don't give me the problems. Give us the solutions. And then how many times are we going to listen to any of our elected officials dodge the obviously extremely heavy and pertinent questions that are being asked by reporters and then some? How many times are we going to see them just, do their verbal gymnastics through these questions and giving us a bunch of word salad? I'm sorry. It's all on them. It's all of them. It's all of them. Some of them are coming in with speeches. Real talk. Big ass speeches that they write out because they feel like in their minds they're going, this speech will forever be known in infamy. I don't care. Give us solutions. Figure out what the hell is going on. I appreciate, I'm not going to knock them doing these press conferences. By all means, do, but come up with this is what we're doing. Don't give us all this mucky muck. Word salad crap, okay? Stop trying to sell it to me like you're some sleazy used car salesman. Just tell me what's going on so we can keep it moving. That's it. That's it. I saw the press well, if you called it a press conference last night, there was the press conference last night. There's another one that's happening right now as we speak, and I'm like, okay, yeah, and yeah, and what's going on? Anything new? They got a fire out. That's great. What about Palisades? The biggest one of them all. The one that started it all. What about that one, guys? I'm just saying, once you hear one press conference, you've heard them all. Unless they're like, yes, we're doing something about it. And we are. Yeah, I know FEMA is up there now, too. What took them so long? I'm just saying. Same thing with National Guard. National Guard is finally out there. What are they doing? They're patrolling streets, at least from the other show that we saw yesterday morning. What were they doing? They're out there patrolling streets of places that aren't even up in flames. So I'm not sitting here saying, I'm not knocking National Guard, but I'm like, are we using them at the best of their ability right now to protect these homes? Sure. But you got a lot of National Guard. Why can't some of them be out there to help with the fires? There's a lot of men on the ground, men and women on the ground that are sweating bullets nonstop, countless sleepless days, okay? A sleepless week so far, doing nothing but trying to take this stuff out. So why not take some of those men and women of the National Guard and take them over? Just take them over. We need more hands on deck. You got, as I said the other night, other show, you really seriously have the incarcerated. You have incarcerated firefighters out there. 800 some odd people out there. Come on now. I just, like I said, it is just insane what we've been seeing. And I just want them to just kind of amp up the speed a little bit. Because right now, as we're seeing all this stuff, more and more conspiracy theories are flying out left and right. This is giving more room for people to sit there and go, well, maybe this was all a planned thing. Maybe this is an in-house attack. What if we are under attack and we don't even know? This is where it's getting to. The conspiracy theories and the tinfoil hats are most definitely on a lot of people's heads right now. Let's keep it real. It's getting crazy out there. All because of these fires, yo. But like I said, new evacuation orders have, the Palisades fire continues to spread. Okay, let's take a look at this. Unbelievable. So what we know about the California fires. So a series of destructive wildfires in the greater Los Angeles area have taken the lives of now 11 people. The true death toll is not known, authorities said, as fires destroyed entire streets and more than 12,000 structures. 12,000 structures that need to be rebuilt. This is going to be years, y'all. This is going to take a while. Dry conditions and powerful winds fed at least 5 blazes, causing unprecedented damage in highly populated areas not known for fires. Officials anticipate fierce winds to return Monday. So if they don't get this stuff on point, you got to remember, today's Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. If you don't know your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. And then it goes back to Monday all over again. You realize how close that is in time? If they don't, but at the same time, they have all day today to try to get this ish on point. Sure, they're taking out some of these fires, which is great. One, to be really honest, one so far, but they haven't taken out everything. Palisades fires, which burned through more than 21,000 acres. 21,000 acres. And of course, the reporting here says 8% has been contained. Now, we just heard from one of our viewers, one of our family members, or one of our viewers, family viewers in the family chat, actually say 15%. So that may have changed. Anything is possible. And yeah, Jackie Thomas, they say that there is no rain scheduled in sight in their forecast, period. So force winds are going to pick up. They say fierce winds to return on Monday. If they do not figure this thing out, this whole thing, we could go through this all over again in different areas. Again, no rain, y'all. Zero. Okay? Nada. Evacuation orders for the blaze expanded Friday night to parts of Encino. So the Eaton fire in the Pasadena area, which has burned across nearly 14,000 acres, is 3% contained. And again, great that there's a few percentages of containment, but that does not bring calm into my heart. That means it's still on fire. Yo, I'm getting footage from friends that are out there, other people that I just know through the show and through work. Doing this show for so many years, you make friends, right? And you make acquaintances. I got people sending me video photos of things on fire just like in their backyard. I'm not kidding. Things that I'm not going to share because they're just sharing it to me personally and just saying, hey, this is nuts, right? But it's scary to think that they're turning around as they're going to the grocery store because they got to get some essentials before they have to pack up, or if they actually have to pack up. And you got people packing up and trying to, or seeing in their backyard behind a mega shopping mall or shopping center of some sort, the whole place up in fire. Yards, hundreds of yards away, they're just sitting there going like, okay, I guess we got to pack up. I guess we got to go. And again, I keep repeating, pack up your stuff and go. Don't even think about it. Don't hesitate. If you feel like it's too close for comfort, call that friend, call that mama, call that relative, call that auntie, whoever you can call, and pack up your stuff and go. Okay? Just go. Because 3% out of 14,000 acres being caught in the wave of one of these fires is not extremely comforting for me. And I don't live in Cali. All right? So Gavin Newsom said he's calling for an independent investigation into the loss of water pressure to local fire hydrants and the reported unavailability of water supplies from the Santa Ynez Reservoir. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. So now he's doing like, we must investigate. Someone must be held accountable for the lack of water. Interesting. At least 2 of the people unalived in the fire lost their lives while trying to protect their homes. Again, a fire hose against a wildfire like this ain't going to win. I'm telling you right now. If you're physically able to leave now. If you know of somebody who isn't physically able to leave, contact them, go get them, and then leave now. Also, here's another thing too, just something to think about, which is also something that I felt has been very awesome and amazing from all the people that have been speaking out as of late. We've been hearing them checking in on their neighbors. Check on your neighbors. And if they need help, help them. And all y'all, kick rocks. Get out. Real talk. This is not the time to be dilly-dallying and just hanging out. Or this is not the time to be selfish. Like I've said before, I even wrote it down because I was so proud of these bars. Okay. But I'm going to say it again because I wrote it down in my little yellow book. Okay. So here it is. All right. I'd rather you be safe and wrong. I'm reading it from here. I'd rather you be safe and wrong than right and gone. Bars. Pick up your stuff and go. That's it. And hope to God your insurance is insurancing. Okay? That's it. Check on your family. Check on your neighbors. Check on your neighbors. Please. Pick up your ish and kick mother-loving rocks. Okay? Don't even entertain it. Okay? Go. Yes. Rianne, just go. Just go. You know what? Vegas sounds really nice right now. I'm being real. Okay? Vegas sounds kind of dope right now. Even Reno sounds kind of dope right now. Don't you think? And it's only a couple hours away from LA. So get in your car and drive. That's it. Make sure, here's another piece. Make sure you have all your credentials, all those important pieces. Because, that could be very tough if those go up in flames. Make sure you have those things. Number one. Number two, if you can, get a couple canisters of gas. Do that. Make sure your car is filled with gas, full tank of gas. Then get one extra canister or two to have on the side just in case. Because for a fact there's going to be a lot of people doing what I just said. That Reno sounds dope right now. Vegas sounds even doper. You don't think that there's a parking lot on the highway leading to Vegas right now? Everybody and their mom would probably think the same thing. We should go to Vegas. F it, man. There's hotels. We can have some fun, blow off some steam, maybe gamble a little bit. I wouldn't gamble because you might need that money later, but still. You see what I'm saying? Pack up your stuff and go. That's it. Drive a little bit. Find a place. Okay, now, here's the thing. Somebody had to say it. Okay? Somebody had to say it. And it just happens to be the chief of the LA Fire Department that goes in on Mayor Bass. Now, here's the thing. We got to talk about this really quick. All right? We got to talk about this really quick before we watch this video. Mayor Karen Bass she's basically been thrown under the bus since they found out that she was first off in Ghana, I guess on vacation. I don't know what she was doing, but she was in Ghana when these fires went off. She had to get on a plane and turn right back around. She got here, and of course, there was a lot of backlash like, where were you? Okay. And a lot of information about all ish hit the fan. Let's not forget. Lack of water. The water pressure was bad, the reserves, etc. But then what's interesting is we also find out that she cut out millions, tens of millions of dollars in the fire for basically protection against fire, basically towards the fire department. 17 point something million dollars was apparently cut. Now, there's obviously speculation and rumor that she was planning on trying to raise $50 million for a budget for the fire department. But we have never, from what we're understanding, we have not heard or seen anything of that sort at all. And also, by the way, it's kind of like a too little, too late type of situation. It's a little bit of a, well, I was gonna, but you didn't gonna, because we're in this situation right now. Now, this chief, Crowley, has been was vocal in the past about how how she was upset about the fact that there was not enough funding for the Los Angeles Fire Department. Now we're here in this situation where everything's up in fire, right? And Crowley got nothing. She can't do nothing. And she's angry, understandably. And so now she does this exclusive interview out of nowhere with this reporter, and she had some things to say. And I'm telling you, rumors started a lot of speculation and rumors came flying out after this situation, after she said, but at the same time, I'm going, I don't blame her for being mad. I really don't blame her. This is a terrible, stressful time. Okay? Yeah, and it's bad. Now, hold on. Dom just said this. Pascal, have you been on Reddit? No, I have not. There's an article with a memo about wanting another 49 million cut on top of the 17. See that, but that's insane. I heard information about her trying to get $50 million to add on top of their budget, or to add into their budget. $50 million, but it was all a situation of like, but I was trying to give you guys 50 instead of the 17, 18 million dollars that she actually took out, that she actually denied them. But to me, I'm like, you can sit here all day long saying that you are gonna do something. If it's not enacted, it's just for the birds. It's just vapor. It's just hot air coming out your damn mouth, in my personal opinion. You see what I'm saying? So now we have, so about that $50 million that she was trying to, $49 million that she was trying to cut as well, that's news to me. And if that's true, that's insane. Okay. But Reddit be Reddit. You feel me? Reddit can be kind of wild out here. All right. It's a toss-up. It's 50-50. But given the fact that this chief is going on internet, let's be real, this is international news to talk about this, because everybody's watching this. It's not just Californians. It's not just Americans. It's everybody from around the globe. And in fact, I'll show my proof. Go and comment in the chat what country you are watching this from. I know the Americans are going to be putting up their flags, being America. Okay, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, what country are you watching this from? If it's anything different from America, most definitely comment in the chat right now, because I'm sure it's not just America. It's probably Canada. It's probably Great Britain. We got Ireland. We got Mexico. We got Australia. Yep. England. See, UK. South Africa. Wow. Detroit. Detroit. Nemesis said Detroit, America, but Egypt, Singapore, Finland. Look at this. This is insane. Like I said, this is internet. Whoa. Don't slow the, no. Don't slow the chat. Okay, I was about to say, don't do a minute. The heck? Hold on. I'm reading these. This is why it's speeding up, because of this. Slovakia. Cape Verde. Chicago's a country. Germany, South Africa. Look at that. I'm just telling you. All right. People, the Netherlands. Yes. Like I said, people from all over the globe are watching this, because a lot of us give a damn. Pascal land. I love that. Welcome to Pascal land, full of randomness and breakout songs. People breaking out in songs, right? Where is my tequila? You know what I'm saying? But moving on, okay? Some California love all day, man. But anyway, like I said, the diversity, yes, Rianne, the diversity is amazing, okay? It's freaking amazing. Trinidad, Brazil, Turkey. Okay. Like I said, all y'all from everywhere in the world. So she's on this I was just trying to point something out. So everybody and their mama's watching this stuff. We are all watching this. Edge of our seat going, man, more fire here, more fire here. This is insane, right? Now, what's interesting is that she's saying this live in this interview with this reporter. We got to take a look at this whole thing because this is insane. And you can tell she's at wit's end. She doesn't care anymore. She's like basically saying, hey, we are tired. We haven't slept in days. We're trying to get this fire to slow down, but it's not slowing down. It just is just picking up. We ain't have the resources that we actually need and all that. And some of it has to do with manpower. And if you don't have manpower, what's going to happen? You're going to have a fire the size of 6 football fields. Real talk. Larger than just 6 football fields. Okay? Larger than just Manhattan, the city of Manhattan. Real talk. This is terrifying. And I'm hoping that all the elected officials that are watching this show right now as we speak or watching this, I'm hoping that you just see this. Maybe this floats into the hands of the right people. All of you elected officials, all of you leaders that are out here, I hope to God you are looking at this and waking the F up and using this as a learning experience of, okay, we need to make sure, since we know our place gets, hit with this particular type of act of God, we should make sure we are ready just in case a tsunami hits, just in case if we get hit with an earthquake, just in case there's a huge snowstorm and the power goes out. We need to make sure everything is suited and booted and straight-laced before any of these catastrophes ever get to our front door. Use this as a learning experience. This should be a lesson. This should be school for some of these elected officials out here, right? Smart people learn from their lessons. Wise men learn from other people's lessons. Well, that was also bars, but let's be real. Come on now. But I'm going to stop talking. Sorry, guys. Getting off the soapbox. Let's rock and roll. She got things to say, y'all.
Unprecedented times for the Los Angeles City Fire Department and, of course, all the other fire departments that are assisting us with these fires. A new fire just broke out now in Granada Hills. Joining me now live, the chief of the Los Angeles City Fire Department, Kristen Crowley. Thank you for talking to us today. And we're just going to get straight to the nitty-gritty because there's been so much talk. And you're aware of the criticism.
Yes.
Most of the criticism has been directed towards the city of Los Angeles, towards Mayor Karen Bass, but it's also been directed towards the administration. Everybody loves firefighters. Mm-hmm. We love our men and women on the front lines, but the administration is another thing, and they've been very critical of the way everything has been handled. Your reaction when you read those tweets, those messages, those emails?
I tell you, my reaction first and foremost is to step back and remind myself that I'm not a politician. I'm the fire chief of the greatest fire department in the world. So my focus, first and foremost, is to make sure that our fire department, our firefighters are properly funded, they're properly trained, they're properly equipped. So when it comes to the criticism, since day one, my number one priority has been and will continue to be that our firefighters get what they need so that they can serve the community. That is number one. I am going to turn down the noise when it comes to any type of criticism because every decision that I make is going to be based off of what my firefighters need.
And those lives are on the line. So let's get to the big question, the budget. There's so much talk about it. It was cut 17 million. It was cut this. It wasn't cut at all, according to one newspaper. Was your budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025 cut?
I can tell you, I'm going to even go back further than that. Again, since day one, we've identified huge gaps in regard to our service delivery and our ability from our firefighters, boots on the ground, to do their jobs. Since day one, this is my third budget as we're going into 25-26. What I can tell you is we are still understaffed, we're still under-resourced, and we're still underfunded. So with that, whether it's 7 million, 10 million.
But was the budget cut, Chief?
Yes, it was cut. And it did impact our ability to provide service.
Bang. First off, let me just tell you something. This woman doesn't care anymore. Look at the bags under her eyes. Real talk. They're dark. Look how she has not been sleeping. Okay? She is at wit's end, number one. Shout out to her, though. Real talk. Shout out to her. And every single person, every man and woman that's going out here fighting these fires nonstop, because I guarantee you, the bags under their eyes are much darker. And they're probably at the point of hallucination right now. Real talk. All right. But she's at that point where she's like, F it. Because you know for a fact, there's going to be people wanting to know, why hasn't the fire department done this? Why haven't they taken out these fires and all that? She's literally saying, okay, I'm tired of hiding it. We got to say what's really going down. It's all about money. This all has to do with, that's what's crazy about this. This all has to do with money, y'all. All of it. Moolah. That's it. If there was more money, there'd be more resources, more men and women out there fighting this fire. They'd be more prepared to do this and knock it out quickly, but they don't. And now she's at the point where she's like, you know what? I can't. F it. It's about them bags, baby. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Real talk. Crazy.
Let's talk about that memo. You sent a memo, a scathing memo to the Board of Fire Commissioners where you expressed your concern that you were not going to be able to do your job. Your firefighters would not be able to respond adequately to a major emergency like a wildfire, like what we're seeing right now.
Right. So understanding where our services gaps are, number one, is understanding where our firefighters need in regard to their equipment. Now, let's focus back on what our people need, and what they need to be is properly funded and equipped. Whether it's 7 million or not, it doesn't matter. It impacts our ability, just like you said with the board report, of our ability to provide service. And that's on a normal day. Our firefighters are running over 1,500 calls. They're transporting 650 patients a day on a normal day, let alone the last 3 days of what we've had with significant impacts that have changed the communities that we serve, their lives forever. So with that, we're going to continue to fight for what we need to. That is my job as the fire chief of the best fire department in the world.
In December, you wrote that memo. You said that these budget cuts were going to severely affect your department, from everything from brush clearance checks to make sure homeowners were doing what they needed to do, to fire hydrant checks. And yet you heard the mayor just yesterday say, no, those cuts did not affect the ability to serve and would not have changed anything in this situation. What is going through your mind? And I know this is difficult. There are a lot of politics at play. You are not a politician. You are the woman responsible for all these men and women at LA City Fire and for our residents in the city of Los Angeles. When you hear the mayor say it didn't affect anything at all, what is going through your head? If you can share that with us.
Sure. So just full transparency. Again, my position is to make sure that our people get what they need to do their jobs, and also, mind you, that they get to go home to their families. The amount of calls that our firefighters are running today has doubled since 2010, a 55% increase with 68 less people. Full transparency, this isn't a new problem for us. Since the 3 years that I've been in the seat, I've sounded the alarm to say we need more. This is no longer sustainable. So with that, we're now in a position to be properly funded. We are screaming to be properly funded to make sure that our firefighters can do their jobs so that we can serve the community that we took an oath.
But when the representative of the...
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta pause this, fair use crap. It's annoying, I know. But at the same time, she is literally saying, guys, this is insane to me. Places doubled in size. Like, of course, LA is expanding every day. Okay. Not right now, but every day there's new people moving into Los Angeles, all of them trying to get a shot at their own version of the American dream. Right. to pursue their dreams and make things happen. Some people are in there to become the next Tom Cruise. Some people are in there to be the next, tech tycoon, business mogul, whatever it may be. Just not Diddy, for crying out loud. Do not turn out like Diddy. But still, moving on, they still don't have enough even for just that. So if there was like if there was a bunch of fires happening in one particular area, they would have to split up the responsibilities, that they don't have enough manpower for even just not something of this magnitude, but something that could be that could be bigger than just a building on fire or a house on fire. And she's sitting here saying, for years we've been begging. We've been begging for help. We've been begging for more budget, for more finances, and we can't even get that. And I still wonder why. Why is it that way? Why does the fire department, when you know for a fact the fire season basically is year round because it never snows out there, it barely rains in California, in Southern California. So it does make you wonder why they would not make sure that the people, that the departments that are here to avoid these kinds of tragedies aren't getting the funding that they rightfully deserve. It's very weird to me, y'all. Very weird.
The city says the cuts that were made and signed did not affect the response to the fire that is being criticized, the response that is being criticized by so many people. What is going through your mind?
Yeah, just the full transparency of the documentation, of being able to sound the alarm.
Does it make you mad?
I don't know if it makes me mad. In the end, that is my job as a chief, to make sure that my voice is heard and my voice is amplified from the needs of what our people need to do their job.
So tell the city, tell the residents, tell the people that are out there. I mean, thousands and thousands of people have lost their homes, and they're looking to blame someone, and it's not the Santa Ana winds necessarily. Right. They are looking to blame administrators.
Right.
What is the message here? And have you had a one-on-one with the Mayor Bass and said, hey, I told you so. I told you this was going to affect our ability to respond to a major emergency?
I would start with a message to the community. I think they already know in their hearts that our LAFD firefighters are here to serve them first and foremost. Again, none of us on the fire department are politicians. We're public servants first. We took an oath to serve the public before ourselves and even before our families. So with that, I want to focus on path forward. I want to focus on what the LAFD needs, what I need as a fire chief, and what our people need to do their jobs to make sure that we can save lives and that we can protect property to the greatest capacity, but we need to be funded appropriately. And that's where my head is. You asked.
The mayor said it didn't affect your ability to respond. Did it affect LA City Fire's ability to respond, starting with the Palisades fire and then this domino effect of fires, including the Archer fire that we're seeing happen right now in Granada Hills?
Yeah, I think obviously any budget cut is going to impact our ability to provide service. That's at this point, that is a ground truth in regard to our ability. If there's a budget cut, we had to pull from somewhere else. What does that mean? That doesn't get done. There's delays. So in the end, again, I'm going to focus on getting us what we need from this particular catastrophe and disaster and how much it's impacted the communities that we love. I got to go after the things that will help our firefighters, keep them safe, and make sure that if and when this ever happens again, that we're properly funded and that we have the ability to do our jobs and keep people safe.
What is your message to city administrators, starting with Mayor Bass?
My message is the fire department needs to be properly funded.
And it's not.
It's not at this point, and we've got the justification. We know where our gaps in service are. We know we need 62 new fire stations. We need to double the size of our firefighters. The growth of this city since 1960 has doubled, and we have less fire stations.
Let's repeat that, because those numbers are a little jarring. 20 years ago, you had more fire stations than you had now?
We had 112 fire stations. Now we have 106. And since 2010, we've had an increase doubled our call volume, which is firefighters responding to calls, 55% increase with 68 less firefighters.
So the city funding is not keeping up with the city's needs in real time.
No, and that's what our firefighters need.
I'm going to
Yeah. Like, oh man, she's just dropping it all. She's like, I don't care. Here it is. Here's all the stuff. Here's what I've been dealing. And it's funny because it's like, she's been dealing with this. She already said for years. She's already been dealing with that, how it just keeps on getting cut back even more every single year, right? There was now, a certain amount. There was more before. Now they've cut back certain the amount of fire departments that are out here. She's like, we need to augment even more. There needs to be more fire departments. Why are we cutting it all the way back? It just doesn't make any sense. Now we're at the place where we're out of water, Los Angeles is out of water. But at the same time, they're out of resources, even manpower for this thing. I mean, I don't blame her for speaking out. I really don't. You get an opportunity like this. You got a reporter coming up and asking you all the right questions. Ain't nobody else around to bother you for nothing, man. I'd start talking too. But the rumor was that this woman got fired. This chief got fired after this whole situation. And no, she didn't get fired, guys. She didn't get fired at all, at least for now. Optically, she didn't get fired, but let's continue on.
ask you again. I'm going to continue pressing you on this. In your mind, what were you thinking when you hear all the city leaders say, it didn't affect, everything was great, it's unprecedented and la la la. And yes, the Santa Ana winds are unprecedented. We don't have them in January. We all know that. What was going through your heart?
What's going through my heart is that our firefighters, the community's firefighters, LAFD firefighters need to be properly funded. We need to be supported so that they can do their jobs.
And let me show you real quick. Photographer Tony Buttigieg, I'm going to ask you to pan over to that table. Tell me what I'm looking at. This is memo after memo after memo, including to the Board of Fire Commissioners, where you pointed out your concern that you were not going to adequately be able to respond to a wildfire, an earthquake, everything that we see precisely in this city.
That's my job as a chief, is to take a big step back and understand where and how can we better serve the community. As a community needs more, we need to have more to make sure that our firefighters can serve them. I identified early, my team identified early, labor identified early that we have service gaps. So when you talk about sounding the alarm and asking and requesting budgets that are easily justifiable based off of the data, real data, shows what the fire department needs to serve this beautiful city and the beautiful community that we swore that we would. That's what that is about. It is the follow-up. It's showing and justifying where our gaps are, and it's raising and sounding the alarm that the fire department is underfunded, understaffed, and under-resourced.
Do you believe, had your budget concerns been properly addressed in the new fiscal year, would we have seen the same outcome that we are seeing now with thousands and thousands, unprecedented numbers of structures, homes, businesses lost? Would the outcome have been different if they had listened to you?
I do believe if we would have set ourselves up appropriately over the past 3 years, we would have been in a better position of what had happened here in the city where we lost homes and we lost lives.
That has to be very emotional for you. This is your job, but this has to be emotional.
This is more than a job to us. This is who we are. This is our duty. And when you don't have that ability and people don't listen, that's why I'm talking to you right now. The fire department needs to be funded appropriately. So that I can look any community member in the eye and say, your LAFD's got your back.
And right now you can't?
Right now, no. And that's why I'm here.
And how does that make you feel?
This is the burden of command as a fire chief of the greatest department in the world that I've wholeheartedly raised my hand to say, yes, I will represent the amazing men and women of the LAFD. And when they're not getting what they need to do their jobs, it's enough. And that's why I'm here.
And you have injured firefighters too. And you see those homes that have burned to the ground. There is so much loss. People are out of jobs. What goes through your heart when you see that?
The community is our community. Our firefighters stand with the community. We live in the communities that burned. So if anybody says anything in regard to our firefighters not doing everything that they can to protect our neighbors, our community, I will stand up and defend every action that our members went through and are still actively fighting fire.
I don't think anybody is criticizing the firefighters. I think the criticism has been lobbed maybe 80% at the city of Los Angeles and maybe 20% at the administration here.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I'm here to make sure that we are garnering the support to get our LEFD firefighters what they need to do their jobs, period.
Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department and our city?
Uh-oh.
It's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say justifiably what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community.
Did they fail you?
That is our job. And I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
She didn't really answer that, but she answered it, if that makes any sense. Boy, oh boy. But yeah, I mean, understandably, she not happy. She not happy at all. And do we blame her? Okay.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
There it is. Oh! She said, F it. Yes. They failed us. It's funny because some reporters will ask the same question, but in different ways, like they're a litigation lawyer, right? Like they're doing, were you there or were you not? Were you there at around 7? Was 7 o'clock a place would this be a place that you would show up around 7 o'clock at? You know what I mean? They'll ask the question over and over and over and over and over again. But shout out to this woman though. Shout out to this chief for just keeping it real and just saying F it. Yes, they failed us. We'd be in a different place. Maybe we'd be still in the same kind of trouble, but we at least have enough all hands on deck. We'd have enough manpower to handle this situation. I mean, you can't really fake the funk. At some point, you just got to rip the Band-Aid off and just, say what you need to say.
Chief Kristen Crowley, I believe the anchors wanted to ask a question back there, had some comments.
Mm-hmm. We do, Gigi. If you could please ask her regarding the Times article that came out that the Santa Ynez Reservoir was closed to repairs and it was empty. 117 million gallons of water could have been used in this fight.
The question is about...
Hold on. I'm sorry. I got to run that back. How many gallons of water?
117 million.
Hold on.
Gigi, if you could please ask her regarding the Times article that came out that the Santa Ynez Reservoir was closed to repairs and it was empty. 117 million gallons of water could have been used in this fight.
The question...
That's a lot of water, man. That's a lot of water, and it's gone. 100 what? 100 and what?
Empty. 117 million gallons of water.
117 million gallons of water gone. Oh my Jesus. Oh my Jesus. That's insane. Do you understand? Oh my God. Is this her finding out right now, real time? Hold on.
Could have been used in this fight.
The question is about the Santa Ynez Reservoir being empty. There's been a lot of questions about that.
Sure. So my stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants. Please defer that to DWP or whomever controls that part. But I can tell you the resiliency of our firefighters, if there's no water, they're going to go find water. They're going to figure out a way to do the best they can with what they've got in a very dynamic situation.
And I know you expressed concerns that those DWP hydrants would not be inspected thoroughly because of the budget cuts.
that is something to discuss, and we're going to look into that in regard to how we can ensure there's going to be water when we need it. But in the end, I'm going to defer that to DWP and whomever else controls the supply. I can guarantee you that when our firefighters showed up on that day with what they had, they did absolutely everything they could do to rescue and to save people's lives and property. And that's the bottom line. Now let's get them what they need to do their jobs. And so
let's get them water, Chief, because I was with your firefighters and they literally were watching a house burn down with pain in their eyes, not being able to do anything except pull water from a swimming pool to try to save a nearby structure that wasn't burning, and literally watching a house burn to the ground because they had no water.
That's exactly right. But did they continue to work, and did they continue to do what they had to do the best they could with what they had? Yes.
Chief,
follow-up.
Crowley, thank you very much.
Oh my God, man. I forgot about the reservoir being empty. I forgot about that part. But oh my Lord, 117 million. So the head of DWP needs to be held accountable. They need to be asking her what the hell happened there. Because if you got one of the reservoirs, it's not even one little morsel of water, not one drop of water in that mug. 117 million gallons of water gone, non-existent. They open it up and they're like, yeah, let's get some water. What? Like literally. That's bad, yo. I'm sorry, but that's bad. That's bad. That's really, really bad. How can that even possibly be? How could that possibly even be possible? I don't even know what words are coming out of my mouth. But you know what I mean. How is that even possible? How, y'all? My Lord. So let's take a look at this. Some new updates right now.
A lot that can still burn.
Gigi, do we still have Gigi? Because
Brentwood.
you had mentioned something earlier that
So this is like O.J. Simpson land. I'm sorry, but I have to say it. This is like the area. I think isn't Brentwood the town or the county that Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown lost their lives? That vicious unaliving. The O.J. Simpson thing. Now it's in Brentwood. So now it's in that area. I'm just trying to give you just like an idea of where we're at. All right. So this is a very rich part of town right now. A house is on fire. Okay. Because the Palisades have expanded into Brentwood. Like, this is crazy, guys. This is crazy. So same time, same area that was infamous, in the infamous county and location where Nicole Brown Simpson or Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman both lost their lives in her home after allegedly, a lot of people think that OJ did it, where he went in, he'd unalived both of them, right? And then there's, of course, theory that OJ did this with his son or with a partner or something like that. I don't know. That's just the theory. There's been no confirmation, but Brentwood, very rich part of
attack.
LA.
It is always
Crazy.
and I always watch this in so much awe and with so much respect for
Indeed,
our firefighters
Natasha.
and our incident commanders, that they are able to coordinate. And of course, let's not leave out our pilots, civilian pilots and our firefighting pilots that do such an amazing job to try to get water in the fire area and try to save homes. Sadly, this home has caught fire. It does appear to be a total loss. Unfortunately, we hope that the folks were able to evacuate and get out safely with whatever was important to them. But of course, there's not always a lot of time to do that. And firefighter, CAL FIRE firefighter from Placer County, Edwin Zuniga, was telling us, as a firefighter, he understands people not wanting to leave. That is your home. That is your castle. You feel like you might want to protect it. And at that moment, you know, we remind folks that it's not worth losing your life to protect your home.
I feel like we've covered.
The firefighters understand.
Gigi, I feel like we've covered so many fires in the past, and we've watched people try to protect their own homes with water, and sometimes, and I will say sometimes they're successful or their home is spared. It was just a much different situation now and a very different dynamic that we're dealing with. Because if you talk, you hear from LA County Sheriff Robert Luna, and when they start talking about the deaths that continue to climb, that he is saying that the majority of deaths are those who decided to stay. And in one case, very tragically, they actually found a person who had been trying to save their property with the hose still in his hand. So it's one of the situations right now where we've seen.
Is that Brian? That sounds like a Brian Enton voice.
Situation that is definitely very different than other fires that we have covered before. And this time around, it's just, it's probably just not a wise idea.
Exactly. We have seen many folks save their homes with the garden hoses. We've seen it in the Woolsey fire. And my photographer, Armando Hernandez, is pointing out that we are feeling the wind pick up here. Again, we're on Banyan and Westridge, not far from Cordelia. The fire burning just about 2 blocks away from us. And we are starting to feel these wind gusts. And we were saying we have seen many, many people. We've seen bucket brigades save an entire block. Amazing work from neighbors, but not always up against the wind, up against the elements. You heard firefighter Zuniga say this area hasn't burned in a long time. There's plenty of fresh fuel. We did have a lot of rain last year. The area is lush, it's green, and that's always good, but it's always, you always have that fuel that is also ready to burn. You have light fuels, as firefighters call them, and that just can take off. That home you're seeing there is high on a hill. It's considered sort of remote, even though it is still part of this neighborhood. Water on the ground may be an issue. I don't know if you're seeing firefighters on the ground trying to put water on that fire. The higher in the hill, water pressure may be an issue. Again, we saw that in Pacific Palisades, obviously part of the investigation into this fire. Once this fire is finally out, we don't know what's happening, what the circumstances are around that house, but unfortunately we are watching a house burn down, and it never gets any easier, and our hearts go out to the folks who call that house home.
Absolutely. And, none of us are taking this lightly, what it is to lose your home, because people aren't simply worried about their home. They're not worried about the most material things. They're worried about really important things. Of course, they're worried about, their birth certificates, their documents, photos of family members who have passed away. They're worried about things that are irreplaceable, that, we don't even know about. And that is completely understandable. Everyone right now should be worried about their lives, because that is what authorities and officials are worried about right now. They want people to get to safety. It is not safe to be there if you are not part of any sort of, emergency personnel. You need to get yourself to safety. It's heartbreaking to hear that, there are many people who are still in the area right now. It's heartbreaking. It's scary, actually, to hear.
And Brooke and Bob, it's worth mentioning, and you mentioned it earlier, there are several people that are missing, reported missing, and we broke the news earlier this morning that homicide detectives and the medical examiner are now at 2 different locations where possible human remains have been found again. We're talking about rubble in Topanga. We're talking about another area in Altadena, and investigators are there. Obviously, it will be the medical examiner who determines if those are indeed human remains. We've already seen a resident of Malibu lose their life. Their human remains have not, as far as I know, been positively identified, but someone who lived with them said that that person had chosen to stay behind to try to protect their property. The human remains were found after that person was reported missing by the roommate or the family, the loved one, and now the coroner, the medical examiner, is working to identify them. So it's extremely tragic, and we still
Now, there we go.
that have been reported missing.
Take it out. Come on
13
now.
is what Sheriff Luna had said, that 13 people had been reported missing, and he believes that at some point that number is going to climb. They actually now have a family assistance center that they are going to put in Pasadena on Green Street, so that folks who still haven't heard from their loved ones can go there. And the sheriff's department can send their deputies to these fire zones.
That's a damn shame.
To try and check it out. We saw one of the scenes earlier from our sister station, KTVU. Tom Vakar was at one of those spots this morning as we watch that water drop, as we said.
It's phenomenal to watch. It really is. It feels it's a moment of relief that you get, that takes over, because we're all in this space. No matter where you live, where you're from, everyone wants this to be over. Everyone is thinking about those who have lost everything, thinking about those who have lost family members as that death toll climbs, and potentially there are incidents, obviously, that we won't even know about for days to come.
Right. So they're going to send out those teams. And as I was saying, that live shot that we saw from our crew there on the ground, they brought out cadaver dogs because the home itself had been completely decimated. And it's no telling where this person who was missing, whether or not they're there or whether or not they're not. And so the dogs are there to see if there are any signs of life whatsoever, or to search for bodies, unfortunately, through the rubble. 13 missing so far.
And that's just the sheriff's count,
right.
Just the same as the death toll. He has different numbers than other emergency crews, other, emergency responders. And, the death toll, the larger number, it is larger than the sheriff's count.
Yeah.
So that 13 missing, that number as well can grow.
13 missing.
Yeah. The fire continues to burn.
Yeah, this is, they're trying. They're really trying to take out that fire. We'll see what it's all about, but at the same time, it's crazy. Now, this is why I keep saying, guys, this is what I urge everybody as much as possible to, if you are in the area, to remember that there is a lot of people out there thinking of doing some bad. So I can't urge this enough to keep your head on a swivel and keep yourselves safe. If you have any type of protection, make sure that's with you, because there are a lot of people that are going to do some really, really bad things, especially when the night comes, when the sun goes down. That's when everything goes haywire. People are trying to loot. People are trying to steal. There are people that are missing now. I just said that on the last show. God only knows that people are going to be losing their lives, and then also people are just going to end up missing. This is the perfect opportunity for people to do things and for it to be covered up by these fires. Real talk. You got homicide detectives going to particular locations. They found 2 new unalived bodies, 2 new remains in specific areas that are probably evidence, if there is any possibility of any type of foul play in the situation. All evidence of foul play could be burned up in these fires. Like I said, people could use these opportunities to do some bad things, not only just to start off fires in other places, but also do crimes, exact some sort of revenge, or to satiate some sort of bloodlust. I know that sounds crazy, but we talking about a massive metropolitan area where there's a lot of people that are desperate not only just to get theirs, but also just desperate to one up on somebody. Real talk. And it's weird because you see these things in movies all the time, you know? Like there's a movie called Lakeview Drive, I think it's called. It's with like Samuel L. Jackson, Kerry Washington, and I forgot the other guy's name, but he was in Aquaman. But anyway, in that movie, and I'm just saying there was a huge like fire near the end of the movie. I know I'm spoiler alert, but the Lakeview Terrace. Thank you, Lakeview Terrace. Good ass movie. Okay, good movie. Then at the end, everything goes crazy because there's a fire that starts to go through the neighborhood, and this is an opportunity for them to, these two opposing sides to actually go toe to toe. Okay, and again. No, it's not. It's not Anthony Mackie. He's Caucasian. I forgot his name, though. I forgot his name. Good actor, though. Very good actor. Good movie, Lakeview Terrace. All right. And the movie, like I said, good movie. But at the end, they used a fire, and obviously it was for metaphor and all that stuff too. But they used this fire for the bad guy to use this as an opportunity to attack. Okay, if that makes any earthly sense. All right. And of course, now, wow, that's new. I haven't seen that. That's new. Wow. Take a look at
Home with
that.
you, Scott, 34 years on the fire lines. I know you've seen it. And I'd like to mention very quickly, firefighter, LA City firefighter, retired now, Scott Gould, actually worked on the Northridge earthquake and helped save so many lives from that collapsed apartment building. You even rescued a child, and I know, sadly, you brought out many bodies, and I know that really took a toll.
Yeah, it did. And so in my career, my 34 years, I've responded on over 66,000 incidences. And it's something that you just can't get out of your head. You live with it the rest of your retired life. And it's very passionate for me to watch these fires and know what the firefighters are going through on the ground and how grueling the work is. And my heart goes out to them. And so all I can say is keep them in your hearts and your prayers. And I just hope that they get the resources in the future to be able to do the job that they need to do.
That has been a hot topic of the conversation here in Los Angeles. Talk to me about the aerial assault. You've been watching that very closely. Obviously, that aerial assault, absolutely crucial. And we're starting to see some black smoke come from a different area here in Mandeville Canyon behind other houses. And Scott, explain to the viewer at home, when you see that thick black smoke, it's not very thick yet, but when you see that black smoke, what does that mean?
So the black smoke means that the fire is actually burning heavy combustibles. And normally when you see the white smoke, that's an indicator that water has been put on the fire and it's turning to steam. But in a lot of the areas of this fire where you see the shrubbery burning and whatnot, they'll put off a white smoke, more of a white smoke than your typical structure fire.
We had a lot of rain here in Southern California. You are also here in Southern California. Talk to me about the vegetation, the challenges that firefighters are facing.
Hold on really quick. Look at that, though, guys. Look at how close those fires are to those homes right there. And again, it makes you wonder, are any of these people, have they kicked rocks? It doesn't look like they've really kicked rocks at all, which is scary. Again, very, very scary. But let me get some of these things really quick off the record. Thank you so much for rejoining. I appreciate it. Welcome back to the family. And just like off the record, hit that join button down below. Become a member. That'd be greatly appreciated. Aries. Thank you so much for the love. Pascal, it's time to open your eyes. This was disclosed in Davos 2019. What's going on is the U.S. is getting ready for the smart city. 15 15-minute cities after California and then New York. It's all a part of the global reset. Okay, that's news to me. I don't know anything about that. I'm going to have to look that up and see what that's all about. But thank you so much for the info. Grateful. Thank you so much for the love. This has turned into a circus, and they've all lost focus. It's so bizarre. Why can't we just focus on saving lives and doing the best you can with what you have? Hats off to the LAFD fire chief. Yeah, it has been crazy. And look how close that is, yo. It's right there. Look at that. That's insane. But if you notice, like, it has been insane. And the narrative has kind of shifted a little bit. But at the same time, that narrative now is more important than ever. At first, I thought, oh, this is just rhetoric. It's just propaganda to make it look like, these left-leaning elected officials can't hold their own, and they just keep dropping the ball. And that they're using that as an excuse, like, see, another DEI. This is the thing that is driving me crazy, too, the whole DEI thing. It's like, no, these people were elected because they were very well equipped to do the job. But then, though, and I don't think it has anything to do with DEI, I think that if you aren't using common sense, or if you are not competent, competent doesn't give a damn about gender, okay, or race. Real talk. If you dumb, or if you incompetent, you incompetent. And this could have been done by a male or a female. It doesn't matter. But with what's being said here, the rhetoric that was out here, I was like, come on, y'all. Y'all need to chill. Let's just focus on finding out and trying to save lives and stop this fire. But then, though, when you hear it from the chief themselves, words from their own mouth in 4K saying, hey, I've been asking for money. I've been asking for the money. We need funding. And we've been ignored every time. That makes you step back and go, well, damn, that's bad. Now, is that because of their political bias? I don't think so. It's just called incompetency. If you're incompetent, then you're incompetent. You're not thinking, and that's not good. That's not what we need as leadership, in our our elected officials. It doesn't matter. So as far as that goes, it's bad. But now when you hear that from the chief, the fire department chief, that it steps forward. It now becomes a main focus, because it's like, yeah, if she's been asking for this for so long, okay, if she's been asking for this for so long and it's been ignored, that's a major, major problem. Major problem. And so now it's thrust back as one of the main characters alongside, it's a supporting role in this whole crazy situation that we're looking at with the Palisades fires. So, and I don't think it's right for people to be attacking if they are attacking the fire department, first responders and all that. I think that's ridiculous, because they're all out there doing everything they can, right? Everyone's out there doing what they can. Look at they're doing everything. People are flying around. They're doing everything they can to try to stop this from happening. And it's just sad that this is happening the way it is. And we're all seeing it in real time, which is even wilder. Rock On, thank you so much. What's up, Rock On? Hopefully you're staying safe. Pascal, thank you for caring about us. I have been tagging you on X with updates. That is me doing that. Okay, I'll take a look at that when I get a second, I promise. Thank you so much for tagging me. I appreciate it. Here for the truth. Thank you so much. Politicians need to focus less on power and remember lives are at stake with their decisions. Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Fear of retribution prevents people from standing up for what is right. Absolutely. Again, bars. Kudos to this chief. Absolutely. You know what? It's like, hey, sometimes you got to make a decision, And if it's a decision, it may not be the popular decision, but it may be the right decision. Then stand on your laurels. Stand 10 toes down. Okay? If you got to die on that hill, then you die on that hill. That's it. Because you know for a fact the proof will be seen when ish hits the fan, like right now. If they said, no, we're going to keep doing this, we're going to make sure we got enough enough in the reserves, enough in the reservoirs, we have enough, enough water in the tanks and all that stuff, this would be a completely different situation, wouldn't it? It'd be a completely different situation now, wouldn't it? If somebody was like, no, we don't need to do that. You tell me you were going to take this much money to put it over here and blah, blah, blah. Why? You know, for a fact at this moment, you'd be like, and you come here. You wanted to say that you had a problem with me trying to keep money for this department. Now you got a problem with it? Because look what we got now. Yeah. Shut up. That's what I would say. Just saying. Just saying. Stand 10 toes down and not give a damn. Because it's all about protection, right? It's all about safety. Jasmine, thank you so much for being a member for the past 3 months. I appreciate it. My heart goes out to all those affected by this devastation. Pascal, thank you for caring, of course. And thank you for keeping us all informed. Of course, that's what I'm here for, guys. That's what I'm here for. Carbonized, thank you so much for the love. This is the chaos that follows professional mismanagement. Managers and executives should not be in control of budgets. Crush that like. Yep. Well, you know, I feel like who is watching the powers that be, right? Who are watching the Watchmen, right? Who are watching the people that are moving budgets around, and why are they moving those budgets around in the way that they're moving those budgets around? And there's got to be a logical explanation on why. If you're going to cut out $17.8 million from the Los Angeles Fire Department, there's got to be a logical explanation on why. Shouldn't there? In fact, that should be public knowledge. That should be something that the Los Angelinos should know. And if they find out about that, they should be asking, why? Why are you cutting out $17.8 million on that? Not just, she doesn't want to do it anymore. It's fine. $17 million, it's just going somewhere else. Where's it going? Where's that $17.8 million going to? Where? Real talk. I'm just asking for a friend. I feel like that's something that should be public knowledge, or should be a big deal for the Angelinos to hear about. And then they should be demanding a breakdown of why and where would that $17 million go to? To a new pool? Where's that $17.8 million going to? To her travel funds? Where's it going to, guys? Like I said, I'd want to know. I'd want to know, hey, because even now, even more now than ever, I'd be like, you going to cut? Why are you cutting that? Because we need them too. Why? Where's that money going to? No, that's fine. You know, if you don't give me reasons why, tell me where that money's going to, period. And if it makes sense, then it makes sense. If it don't, then we need to talk about this. That should be a big deal. Real talk. That should be a big deal. Talvish, what's up, man? Been watching your content for 3 years now. What's up? Thank you so much for watching, and I'm sorry. But thank you so much for the support, Talvish. I appreciate it. Mark, what's up? Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I approve this message. Thank you so much for all the super chats. Let's continue on, though. Let's hear what's going on here, babies.
The structure protection for
I just looked at some
homes.
of the wind gauges over here, and
Yeah.
it's there are unfortunately pockets where the winds are a little bit stronger now. Naturally, with the fire that's burning there in the Mandeville Canyon area, it's creating even gustier, more erratic winds. But this is an area under the wind advisory large part of LA County, or rather LA and Ventura, yes, under the wind advisory for some of these winds that are gusting closer to 40, even 45 miles.
Okay, hold on.
Miles
Sorry.
an hour. I did just look around some of the, they're staying light.
Okay. Now, of course, the fire is still raging on, which is still just mind blowing to me. But there's more that we need to look into. Now, just so you know, this chief that we just were checking out, she did not lose her job. She was not fired. She was at the press conference just recently, okay, talking about updates and all that. All right. Now we know pretty much a lot of the updates right now, but these fires are still raging on and they're not slowing down. I'm wondering if and when there's going to be any new updates in regards to the slowing down of these fires, but these fires are coming in and they're coming in hot.
People might be familiar with Mount St. Mary's University.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. But there's more that I want to show y'all and I want us to check out. So just give me a second. Because there's some more. There's people who have been speaking out. There's a lot of people who have had a lot of things to say. If I'm correct, this is Sylvester Stallone's brother that speaks out, and he says he believes this is arson. Let's take a look at this.
I don't think it's perhaps.
I think this is his brother. Ain't this his brother? Right up here. His name is Frank Stallone. I mean, there's not many Stallones in the world. Okay. But Frank Stallone speaks out and he believes that this is actually done by man.
Actor Frank Stallone is with us. Frank, I don't think it's perhaps a surprise to anyone that you've been outspoken about the problems in California for a long time. But you got a lot of friends who are liberals, for lack of a better term, or supporters of Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass. I'm wondering if over the past couple of days, you've been getting some phone calls about, hey, maybe I was wrong, and what were you saying?
Yes, I have, but again, it's a little too late for all that. I mean, we have Crowley, the fire chief, who is totally non-qualified. We have Kionis from Department of Water, who's making $750,000. And we've got a dreadful governor and a dreadful mayor who is the mayor of Los Angeles, not Ghana. So we knew ahead of time there were going to be terrible, terrible Santa Ana winds. And she's in Ghana when she should have been here, and the water should be flowing. I don't know why they're putting fresh water into the ocean to save a smelt, which is basically a bait fish. So that makes no sense. I mean, it just comes from the top on down. It's just ridiculous. And
what's the best phone call you've gotten from a friend of yours who used to be all into the progressive woke stuff?
Well, 2 words. You were right. You're right. You know, I mean, the thing is, I see this stuff here, and I believe we're having environmental terrorism because it's impossible to get an ember from the Pacific Palisades over almost to the Hollywood sign on the top. That's impossible. And if you look in any stores, you can buy portable flamethrowers, roll torches.
Yeah, Brian Enton was there. Was one guy got arrested. I want to get this in before.
It's crazy because he cuts him off as he's trying to like put in his 2 cents, and it's like, what? He can't talk about his theory. He can't say this like that. I feel like that's a little weird because you see he's cutting him off. Okay, you heard him, right?
Before we got to run, your 1983 hit, Far From Over, the song. I feel like there may be a message there. I know it wasn't written about fires, but there may be a message there.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we're down, but we're far from over. You know, it's incredible. You know, you pick your friends diligently out here, and I've always been outspoken. I'm not a politician. I'm a musician. But I'm an American citizen. And the sad thing is the people in Altadena who live in these little homes probably have no insurance and probably just have enough money to pay their next bill. They're wiped out.
Yep.
You know, the Palisades are rich people, and this stuff's going to be in litigation for years. So in Pacific and PCH, all the houses in Malibu, and now there's new codes. It's going to be a real mess, you know, and it's tragic, but it's really tragic for the little guy. But I believe these fires are arson. I really do believe it because it's just too happenstance that it's over here.
You're
there.
so right to point out. It's always we hear about the celebrities whose homes gets burned down. They can afford it. There's a lot of people who can't, who've lost everything. Look, every house is an American dream. Frank,
of course,
we got to leave it there. Thank you very much. It's a good message.
Okay,
far from over.
I'm a big fan of you and Chris.
Well, thank you. He's probably listening. He's coming up in 8 minutes, so he's listening. Probably jealous.
Okay, well, give him my best.
Well, you just did, and he's jealous. I hear that you aren't on his show. We'll talk to you soon, my friend. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I don't know who. I honestly do not know who this this soft JD Vance lookalike guy is, to be really honest. No disrespect. I just don't know I don't know Leland Vittert. I don't know who that is, but interesting. But like I said, we're going to be hearing a lot of, doesn't he kind of look like a soft JD Vance? I mean, just a little bit. Let me show you guys. Like, it's kind of hard not to see it. You know what I mean? Like, look, this guy right here. I'm not talking about Stallone's brother, because that's Stallone, like Stallone in that's all up in his face. All right. But doesn't he kind of have a JD Vance look? Just a little bit. Okay. I'm just saying. And of course, yes, this is all just one person's opinion. But even when he was putting in his opinion, he was getting cut off, right? Because I guess they were like, no, we're not putting out that kind of stuff. We're not talking about that. Please cut him off. Talk about something else. Talk about his song from 1983, for crying out loud. Like, okay. But all right. That was interesting. Just very interesting. But moving on, we're gonna move on because there's another one. I just gotta share this one because it's just Mel Gibson out here talking, and we gotta see that one. That one's also very interesting as well. He's got a few things to say about a lot of things. Let's just
joining us now, actor and Academy Award-winning
warning, because I know some people aren't going to be happy about this one either. But warning, this is from Fox News, so we already know where this is going. All right, with all due respect, I'm just keeping it real. They're talking about the fires and all that as well, and his home went up in flames. Let's not forget. But we also got to remember Mel Gibson. You know how I feel about Mel Gibson. I'm not the biggest fan. All right. And I'm just not the biggest fan personally. But I want to hear what he got to say. So let's take a listen to a little bit of this.
Director
We're not listening to the whole doggone thing, just so you know.
Mel Gibson, an old friend, a Malibu resident who tragically just lost his home to the Palisades fire. Mel, I was thinking about you when I saw this fire break out. I think I talked to Raymond. I said, is Mel okay? Is his family okay? I instantly thought of you. He said he thought you were okay. And I'm glad you got out. I'm glad your family is safe. But tell us what it was like to be on Rogan's podcast when I guess you learned that your home had been lost.
I didn't learn it was lost. I knew the neighborhood was on fire, then I was in the path. So I was a little tense while I talked to Joe, but he's a guy that can put you at your ease fairly well. So
it's called weed.
I was doing okay.
It's called weed.
And I knew that my family was safe and out of harm's way.
Were you able to get possessions? Of course, they're really immaterial when you have your family, but I've been to your house. It was an incredible home, beautiful home. But were you able to get anything out of your house?
Not much. A few necessary things. You know, my son I said, just go and grab this and this and this. And he grabbed like 3 things and took off. And then, you know, those are okay. Stuff like passports and a couple of papers and stuff like that. But by and large, everything was just, it looked, when I got there the other day, I went up there yesterday, it looked like Dresden, you know, after Bomber Harris got through with it. Yeah.
Mel,
so nothing left.
For those of us watching this from afar, try to convey to us the feeling of seeing your home, your neighbors' homes, and the community there at such a loss?
I mean, it's tragic. It makes you really sad. I was actually, there are neighbors I have that I was actually looking at them. I felt worse for them than I did for myself. I look at it as a strange mixture of sadness and almost kind of an elation in a sense that I count my blessings, no matter what. These are things, and they may or may not be replaceable, but they're only things. And we're still here. And I just kind of look at it as almost in a weird kind of way, a purification but of course it's very sad. And there were many things, gone in the blaze that, I've thought about since. I thought, oh, damn, that's too bad. But, works of art, photographs, rare books, old books, some as old as, 1600, like crazy.
Irreplaceable.
And irreplaceable stuff. Yeah. So it is what it is, I guess. It was only a month ago that the flames threatened us, 200 meters away on the other side. And of course the wind shifted and it came in and whipped and got us from the other direction. So it was an interesting.
You've heard the.
Go on.
You've heard a lot of people say a lot of things about these fires. Obviously, the winds were horrific, but they were predicted. I know that last weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they said this could be tragic with these winds if any fire starts.
Sure.
Do you believe in what you know so far, anything could have happened like this?
Well, one always suspects that this might happen, but one thinks that the resources, and the capabilities of the men and women will be on standby, that they'll be able to cope with any situation that comes up. But apparently some people were asleep on the job, mainly our leaders there. But, that's something they have to live with. And but that's something that community has to live with. And it's really sad. I mean, I have many friends that are, looking for a place to put a roof over their heads, and kids, and they're traumatized. Someone should answer for it, but we'll see. I think we know who the culprits are. In fact, my son he's a member of the volunteer fire brigade. He sort of interfaces between LA County Fire and people, and they assist them where they can during, before, and after the blaze. And apparently the residents in Corral Canyon caught an arsonist up there, and the guy was all tooled up with fire gear and equipment and stuff like that, and ready to go. And he had been lighting fires, but they corralled the guy in Corral Canyon and gave him to the police. So
apparently
actively going around looking for these conditions.
Apparently, Mel, that individual was never charged. It's a very confusing set of facts, because apparently he was reportedly trying to light things on fire, but it's not the fires, I guess, that they. I mean, it all seems very bizarre. But they have not ruled out that arson could have started the first fire. There's obviously still investigating this, and at the same time, Mel, there are numerous complaints, as you alluded to, that the fire hydrants did not have water or water pressure, and the LA fire chief herself reacted. Watch this.
My stance on this is, when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants.
Mel, reaction to that?
Well, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, well, is it on purpose? Which it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be? You know, I don't know. Do they want the state empty? I don't know.
Well, Mel, there's already talk, and we played a couple of sound bites of reimagining the way rebuilding occurs. And obviously there's a great need for high density housing in California and across the country. That's a big push by the climate folks. And you're already hearing rumblings of that. In this case, like goodbye single family homes, hello high density housing.
Yeah. It's pretty scary, and it'll take decades to do that too. It's like even if it, you know, if it's a good idea, which I don't know if it is, but reminds me of the old cattle barons clearing people off the land, you know. But I don't know. I can make all kinds of horrible theories up in my head, conspiracy theories and everything else, but it just seemed a little convenient that there was no water, and and that the wind conditions were right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires. And are they commissioned to do so, or are they just acting on their own volition? I don't know. But
that's crazy. I mean, here it is. I mean, at this point, I don't blame any of these theories being put out here right now. Let's be real. The fires are going crazy. Everyone's wondering what the hell happened. They open up one of the reservoirs, and that reservoir is completely empty. Completely empty. Not even one drop of water. That's crazy. So of course there are some crazy theories out there that are just off the hinges, okay? Literally just talking about ancient aliens, man. It's crazy stuff. There is some crazy stuff out there for sure. But as far as this goes, yeah, I mean, you know, this fire starts, all of this is going on. There's no water. There's no access to water. This is not like some third world country, and no disrespect to third world countries, but real talk, this is not some third world country. This is America, where there are reservoirs, where we have things implemented or put into place so that we can use those things if ish actually hits the fan. And if it's like, yo, hit the other lever, you know, it's like, oh, that lever didn't work. Well, hit the other one, the other, just in case of emergency. If any of these break down, you got to use this lever, man. You got to pull it, and you pull it, and that thing don't work. Holy cow. Holy cow. Some crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff. So I don't blame the theories, okay, and people starting to think and people starting to ask questions, because this wildfire just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Why has any of this gone the way it has gone? And why are certain things that should be there not there? That's odd. Now again, I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, we got to go down this crazy conspiracy theory rabbit hole, but it does make you want to ask questions on, how are these empty? How are these things not being done? Do they have footage? Is there security cameras, okay, out there showing somebody actually getting rid of, draining out this water? That's a lot of water being gone. Or did they end up using that water that was in the reservoirs, but didn't even realize that they used it in the past? You see what I'm saying? Like, those things, regardless, let's just say there was a possibility, just a small possibility, that in the droughts that they had in the past, that maybe over time they used some of the reservoir. Just for example, okay? I'm just using the reservoir for example for a second. And they never did anything about replenishing or refilling those reservoirs. Then we go fast forward a couple years later. Now we're in this situation where there's a massive fire and they're trying to take the whole thing out. They go to the reservoir, find out that whole thing is empty. And they go, oh, wow, we forgot. to refill it, it just doesn't make sense to me. So instantly, you're going, oh my damn, why would this be empty right now? Of all times, of all days, why would this reservoir that should be containing over 117 million gallons of water, why is this whole doggone thing empty? That seems a bit weird, right? But see, that leaves wide open room for speculation and crazy conspiracy theories. Let's be real, okay? So to think on that for a second. So of course you're going to have people out here thinking, well, that doesn't make sense. You know, the math ain't mathin'. So then all of a sudden that leaves room for everyone to start speculating and start conspirizing all over the place. And yeah, George Glass, where is it? George Glass, let me tell you something. The conspiracy theories have been forming. They've been forming since the fire started, guys. It's already happened since the fire started. What made it even worse is that they were having problems getting water out of the hydrants. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised the speculation train is running hard out here in these streets. I'm not surprised. There has to be an explanation for those things. Reservoir doesn't have water in it? That's weird. Unless some anarchist, some Terry ran up and drained the thing behind everybody's back. That's a lot of water to drain, by the way. That's a lot of water to drain. So like I said, it just doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not conspirizing anything. All I'm saying is it doesn't make sense, and it's very odd. And we all can agree on that. We can all be on the same page as that. Explain why there isn't any water in the reserves, in those reservoirs. Why is that they're not 117 million gallons of water sitting there waiting to be used? That does not make any sense. That's not conspiracy. That's not even wearing a tinfoil hat. That is facts. That's not there. What's up with that? All I'm saying is as soon as we start hearing about that, that's when everybody goes running wild with theories, with their conspiracy theories. How convenient that the wind was ever so right and the fire started on this day on a windy, dry day and blah, blah, blah. And the water pressure's not enough and no. And then one thing after the other. Like I said, you start putting those things together, soon you're going to have people saying space lasers. Yeah. Which I'm sure it's already happening. Space lasers, man. Soros was involved in this. It's a whole plan. Like I said, it just goes off the rails. But do I blame people for thinking things a little outside the box? Especially when we see an unprecedented firestorm on top of ridiculous, deplorable, disgusting, unprecedented lack of preparedness and readiness for this particular monstrosity of a fire. Yeah, you're going to have people out here coming up with all kinds of theories that are either going to fit to their bias or not, or fit to their wild conspiracy theories. We are in some weird, crazy times, okay? I feel like we walked into a whole other dimension, walked through the vortex of another dimension, and we out here. Because I've never seen anything like this ever before, okay? Ever before. Unbelievable. I'm still here, guys. I am still here. But still, crazy to think that any of this is actually really happening right now in real life. This should not have happened. Now, I do want to share this though too, which is also interesting. Now, I don't know how much of this is true, but this is from Libs of TikTok. They put this up, and I was getting shared this, so I'm going to show it to you guys too. But it says here, right here, department updates. LAFD is still going through a FY, I guess a financial year, 2020. So 2024 to 2025, $48.8 million budget reduction exercise. So it says, wow, leaked memo reveals LA Mayor Karen Bass demanded the fire department cut $48.8 million from their budget just days before the fires broke out. Explain that. Fiscal year, thank you so much. The fiscal year. So 24 to 25, they want to cut out $48.8 million. Fire Chief Board of Fire Commissions, COA, and UFLAC are steadfast in their message of defending what resources we currently have in place. The only way to provide a cost savings would be to close as many as 16 fire stations, not resources, fire stations. This equates to at least one fire station per city council district. The details of this plan have not yet been deployed. This is the worst case scenario, and it is not happening yet. The fire chief will have a quote unquote chat with the chief webinar next week to clarify the situation and the budget. So she wanted to allegedly cut out $48.8 million. If this is true, anyone can doctor anything. I'm just going to say it really quick, just to err on the side of caution. But at the same time, if that is the case, $48.8 million. She had already cut out $17.8 million. So she wanted to take out another close to $50 million out of their budget, shutting down at least 16 more fire stations throughout LA. See, but then you hear something like that, and it does make you wonder, why then? Why are they wanting this like that? Why is she cutting out the budget like that? What is she using that close to $50 million for? Like I said, it just doesn't make sense. $48.8 million. Again, if that's real, if this is true, that's some very terrifying and jaw-dropping information. We got another, apparently some more homes on fire in Mandeville Canyon. Let's take a look at this briefly.
Front lines and still working despite all of the hardships and the exhaustion that they must be feeling over these past several days as they continue to fight these fires.
And we're going to be hearing these stories, Bob and Brooke, again for weeks to come. And sadly, we're maybe be hearing stories of missing people for weeks to come. Folks that, were evacuated or didn't choose to evacuate, like the poor soul in Malibu whose human remains were found inside the rubble of a burnt out home, chose to stay behind, trying to protect their home, did not evacuate. And sadly, their human remains were found. Medical examiner working to identify them now.
We saw some of those crews out and about. This is a day where they're beginning to do that. Search teams are now fanning out across all these fire zones. LA County Sheriff Robert Luna saying that, yes, they will be sending out these search teams to look for the missing, and 13 people now missing. These are just reported cases where families have said they have missing loved ones, And there's a family assistance center that they're now setting up in the Pasadena area to make sure that they have a central location where people who may have not heard from one of their loved ones can go, and they can begin that process of going out and sending crews to go to those areas. We did see from one of our crews this morning, they had teams there. It's actually the coroner that was going out there, and the sheriff's homicide group was just part of the procedure to go send the homicide a team out there to go look through all of the rubble, because someone had believed to have discovered the remains of a person in the rubble. And so they bring out the homicide teams because these are experts at investigating the deceased when it comes to bodies, whether it be through an actual homicide or through some sort of other death. They go out there, investigate, make sure that there is nothing illicit that had happened there. And at the same time, they bring out the coroner. We also saw a cadaver dog, and it's tough to be able to use all that terminology, but it's just what we're dealing with at this point.
Yeah, this is all bad. Carbonize, thank you so much for the love. Let's see, managers and execs have no practical or working idea of how the funds will be used. They make you justify the cost and then reject them even when they are necessary. It's criminal. The cost is lives. Yeah, I like I said, this whole thing is not making much sense now. And again, somebody said in the chat, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. It was I'm just here, just said something in it. I was like, what? That would have been insane if that's the case. Here it is. I found it. Not to sound crazy. What if a firefighter started the fire to prove a point when the notice rolled out? Now that would be wild, yo. That would be wild. Like, you trying to cut $50 million. You gonna learn today to try to cut that budget. We important too. I don't know. Anything's possible at this point. Clearly, there's a lot of people out here that are coming up with their own theories. Again, not everything is set in stone. We don't know everything yet. We still have a lot of questions that still have not been answered. But this fire still rages on. It still burns. It's still doing what it's doing. And we gonna see what happens. Obviously, there's a lot more going on. I'm really nervous for a lot of people because there's a lot of fires, as you already see. A lot of fires still going on. And when the sun goes down, the fires are still going to rage on, right? So again, my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody that are in the area. Like I said, pack up your stuff, go. If the fires are nowhere near you, then, thank your lucky stars. But check in on the people that you care about the most, that are in the way of this fire. Check on your loved ones, check on your friends and all that. That's all I ask, all right? It's a simple thing. Send out a text. You can even do that, just a simple little text. And check on the friends, check on your friends and family, and just make sure they're okay. And if they're not, see if you can get out to them. Or offer your couch for a place to stay. Hey, come here. We're away from the fire. Come stick around and hang out for a little while. We got you. Don't worry. You'll be okay here. That's all people need. It's a place of refuge. Okay? This is crazy, and it's going to continue getting crazy, all right? I am going to stop the show for now, but I'll be back on in a few hours to talk more about everything that's going on, because obviously this fire is not stopping. Okay, what we know, it's still around 8% contained, and that is the Palisades fires. There have been more fires going in. Obviously, there are fires. The fires are kind of rolling into Brentwood County right now as we speak. That's not great. And I just say, everyone, please be safe. Please be careful out there. The people who we have time to sit here with the conspiracy theories, to entertain the conspiracy theories. I say, for those who are in the wake of this fire, in the way of this fire, please pack up your stuff. Don't worry about the conspiracy theories. Okay? Pack up your stuff and go. The conspiracy theories, you could talk about those later when you're alive and safe away from the craziness. I mean, look at this. Just look at this. Homes. It's just insane. That's just crazy. That's just crazy, guys. And it's only going to get crazier. If they don't slow it down by today, Beach Bree, I'm praying for your brother. My bro is out there. His anxiety is through the roof right now. The wind needs to die down. Yeah, they said it's slowing down the winds are kind of slow for today and allegedly tomorrow, but then Monday is when it's supposed to rev right back up all over again. And that's when I'm hoping that's why I'm hoping that they're using and utilizing this time to go and just take out as much of this fire as they can before Monday comes. So again, these firefighters ain't done yet. And shout out to all of them and all the first responders, all of them, because they're taking care of everybody right now. This is all hands on deck, 24/7. When they get done, when this is all over and things slow down and there are no fires anymore, I really do pray that they get some time to rest, because they need that badly. All right. But that is the show, guys. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. I got to hop off here, but I'll be back on in a little while to cover this. And there's some other stuff that's going on in news as well that we still need to talk about, still need to cover, which we will talk about briefly when we get a second, okay? There's a lot of other things going on. Man, so much going on, all right? So do me a favor, all right? Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on those platforms, those other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. Please and thank you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button here on my main channel. Go to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Crush that subscribe button over there as well. That would really, really mean the world to me. Let's not forget to do that. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon and my locals. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got a lot of really great stuff over there. I'm sure you're going to love. So go check it out. PascalMerch.com. All right, guys, it's time to get going. Stay safe out there. The fires still rage on. We're going to keep an eye on it. I promise. We'll be back to talk about this more very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Stay safe out there, guys. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.